Hello and welcome back to another episode of I Hate Golf. It's awesome. My name is Caleb. He's Mark. And as you can tell, it's fall. We've got our sweaters and hoodies out. I was thinking about this earlier. The last time we did this, the title was Summer is Here. Summer's over. It was 44 degrees this morning on the greens mower. So yeah, we're in an entirely different season now.
So we didn't actually get our schedule of doing this every week. Then,
we did 2 weeks in a row, and you had to make a comment about it, and that's what I'm going to blame it on.
I was bragging.
You were bragging. We've been busy with a lot of things: cutting grass, cutting more grass, growing grass, and cutting it again. It's been a lot of that. It's been a lot of good things, not too many bad things. We had a hurricane come through, didn't get a lot of damage, so that's always a good thing. Definitely fortunate to be where we're at. But how have you been?
I've been great. I was just thinking how it's like 3-4 months have passed. We haven't talked about anything.
Nope.
About the whole golf thing, professional golf thing, golf courses, any of that stuff.
Nope.
It's like,
no,
wow.
I'm pretty sure that the last time we did this was like a week or two before Live really kind of got going. I mean, it was well before the first event was played. I'm pretty sure of that. But I think that was kind of just starting to gain momentum, and now we're more than halfway through their first season, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Their schedule's been a little weird to follow. It's like kind of every 2 weeks, but then it's every 3 weeks, and then they're doing back-to-back weeks. I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that, it's not like they're going from Charlotte to Raleigh to Washington, D.C. I mean, they've branded it as an international tour, and it's been an international tour so far. And
I did call it. You remember when they first started, I said they need to let them wear shorts.
You were right about that.
Sure enough, they nailed it.
Yep.
They've been right on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're in talks now to potentially, I think Fox Sports 1 is the one that keeps floating around. I mean, there's so many reports now that it's hard to know what's actually going to happen. I mean, everyone's making a big deal about, Norman's going to have to pay for streaming rights. Well, it's like the Ryder Cup did the same thing when they started. No one really likes to talk about that. But, I think it's been a pretty good start on their end. Some of the logistics of, how do we get it on the TVs in the clubhouse have been a little kind of hit or miss, but, it's definitely changed the world of professional golf.
Yeah, absolutely. When we're streaming that in the clubhouse, and we always have golf on when it's live, people walk by and they see, that's Live. They stop and look at it, even if they're playing. If they're between nines or getting ready, they stop and look at it.
Yeah.
As opposed to the PGA Tour, it's like, it's PGA. No, that's newness too. So.
Yeah. It's a lot of curiosity factor with it. People want to see how it's going. I feel like it's probably half and half. People want to see it blow up and fail, and people want to see it succeed. I would assume that more people inside of the golf industry, the ones that maybe don't have as much fondness for the PGA, are the ones that are kind of more invested in seeing it work. Maybe that's just kind of personal grudge stuff. I don't know, but I mean, it's definitely, it's been interesting, and there's more golf on now. I mean, if that's the end goal. I
will make it very clear, I'm rooting for them. I'm a fan of theirs. Yeah. It's like all these people saying, well, you're just playing for money. All those people that say that are playing for money.
Yeah.
And guess what? They didn't stay home and just play their club championship for no money.
Yeah.
They went to where they could play for money. So it's just, all that stuff is just foolishness. Just stop it. It's like, well, where'd your money come from? Well, show me where your money came from. It's just.
Well, everyone on tour at one point had the ability to keep their amateur status, and they chose not to. They chose to become professional golfers. I mean, it's in the name of the PGA, professional golfers. They chose to play golf for money, for a living.
Right.
And if you want to get bogged down on the details of where the money's coming from, you can do that with both sides of, you know, the PGA's involvement with China, the Live Tour's involvement with Saudi Arabia. I mean, obviously, the Live Tour is directly funded by Saudi Arabia. If that is a just absolute, non-starter for you, if you just don't want to pay attention to it because of that, then that's fine. No one's making you watch it. No one's making you care about it. It's just another opportunity for people to play golf. It's another opportunity for people to watch golf. The thing that I've liked about it, and the thing I've been kind of disappointed from what I have watched of it, is I think it's great that golf courses that wouldn't normally get to host a tour event are getting to host a tour event.
Like Trump courses.
Okay, you know what I mean? But they haven't really done a good job of highlighting the courses.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of kind of the social media side of it. I think they've done a better job at that. I think they've done a pretty somewhat cringy but pretty good job with the social media stuff. Once they get some kind of streaming partner or some broadcast partner locked in, I think, and I'm kind of afraid it's going to start to feel more like the PGA Tour, but I think then that will be their next big step in, okay, can we keep this momentum going? Can we go from being something that's just streamed on YouTube and kind of has some weird pre-broadcast stuff that they seem to not be able to figure out, into, this is actually on. You can change it to channel 221 or whatever it is for you, and you can sit down and watch it.
Well, what they've done is, the sign of their success is the PGA Tour saying, oh, look at them, that's awful, that's amateurish, it's pathetic. And then what is the PGA Tour? Hey, let's do that. Let's try to do it better. To me, that's comical. And the other thing is, get a marketing consultant for the PGA Tour at least, or someone that actually can tell these guys, when you win, don't comment about the other tour. Don't, in every interview. It's like if that's what I wanted to scream at Mickelson when they were bombarding with all these negative questions. Just say next question. You don't have to answer it. There's not a rule. And it's like, the PGA Tour guys just can't shut up about it. And I don't understand that. They're not figuring it out.
Well, everyone's afraid that they're going to come off as being evasive or whatever, but it's not. It's just, I'm not here to talk about that. It's like, you can just simply say that. You're not here to talk about it. And that's totally fine.
They can't.
Well, that's a little different. It's obviously been kind of the hot topic in golf, professional golf this summer. It doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. There's been the whole thing about the official world golf ranking points and stuff that I don't really understand. And that's been kind of the weird thing, is that seems to be kind of like the one up for the PGA Tour guys, but no one cares about that. It's like, that matters to the guys that are, actually playing and making money. But do any fans actually know what the world golf ranking points mean or matter or anything? It's a made up system in a made up system.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons I like it is because it got really close to my concept of what they should have done years ago about having teams in cities. And I think this is proving that would have been a slam dunk.
No, absolutely.
But they decided to go. They weren't that radical, and maybe they were afraid to be. But it's like, and the next step is if they bring the women golfers in as part of their teams. Oh my gosh. It'll be PGA who? Because they're willing to do that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they have the money to, and they don't really have anything to lose. I mean, that's one of the advantages of it.
Pretty much true.
Every almost imaginable negative connotation is kind of already out the door. I mean, that's kind of gone in the beginning. So
the funny thing about it is, it's you talk about the money issue, is PGA Tour. It's like, we're putting in all the money we have, all the money we have, all the money we have.
Found more.
And then, here's $200 million. It was under my pillow. We're going to pass that out too. That's like the boss that couldn't give you a raise, and then he hires the guy for twice your pay after you've gone. It's like, really? That was kind of, and I knew they felt like they had to do it, but they could have been a little more gradual so it wasn't obvious. It's like, wow, that one really was like shocked me. It's like you
yeah.
just found $200 million to add to the pot.
Yeah.
And you made your events exclusive.
Yeah.
Which, well, it's bad to have exclusive tournaments and play for too much money. So let's make our tournaments exclusive and play for more money.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's obviously, PGA Tour separate, but also the same, it's their messaging across the board doesn't make any sense. And I know they're different entities and stuff, but it's just they have no really coherent leadership. It feels like everything's been a reaction, and I guess they've done what they've had to do, and we'll see what happens with it. It doesn't seem like it's going to stop that many guys from leaving the tour and going to live. Obviously there's the guys that are just never going to go to live, because at this point it would be hilarious if they did, but they've dug themselves so deep that they can't get out of that.
Well, and that's enough about rich guys that play golf and don't relate to real golf.
Yeah.
Which is the bottom line.
Yeah,
it's like I heard one of them comment about this isn't real golf, and I'm thinking, you're not real golf.
Yeah.
I mean, you live in a different world than 99% of golfers. So and it's like, and obviously that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
That bottom functioning half that own golf courses and play golf, and you're dealing with, club championships and handicaps, and where are you driving the carts, and why didn't you fill your divots? The real world of golf.
Yeah. Well, it's I've always thought it's funny. It's like trying to relate it to, the tour's having the U.S. Open at Munis. It's like, no, that's Torrey Pines. It's not a Muni. That's Torrey Pines. It's like there's a pretty big difference there.
And I will say one final parting shot is what I really appreciated about this is that I don't think we ever understood that golfers could be classified as dumb jocks too. When you hear some of them talk, it's just that amazed me. It's like, oh my goodness, it's like they never had to talk about anything before, but their swing and the tournament they were playing in, and it shows.
Yeah. So that's enough about that. What's been going on here?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Again, we just came through a summer. We just had a flirt with a hurricane that was a tropical storm when it passed us. We got some wind, a lot of rain, a couple trees down, no biggie. But no, it's been coming into our end of our first official summer. Mm-hmm. I'm actually, so I drove around the course the other day. It's like, and reminding myself of what it looked like.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
we have a real golf course.
Yeah.
Not even close to where we want it to be. We had, a 3-month drought. We couldn't even get fertilizer in the fairway.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't afford to waste it. So we've got that loaded for spring. Mm-hmm. We couldn't get sod. We couldn't even find it until it was too late to put it out this fall. So we're going to target that for the spring as well. And the difference is going to be dramatic.
Yeah.
And finally, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have our own sprayer and our own license that we can actually go out and spray whenever we want. We don't have to wait and hope and all of that stuff and pay triple. So, yeah, a lot of stuff's happened.
I'll be there at Open. 9:30 rolls around. I've got half the course full. Yeah, that's that'll be a big step. That'll definitely be nice. I mean, obviously, it's going to add more on our plate that we have to take care of. But what it will allow us to do is obviously hugely beneficial. And we got to the point where we have to take that next step to get to where we want to be.
Right. Plus, that the one little thing that haunted me just sat there for the first 2, 4, 6 weeks of spring was the green pool that we battled and battled to get a chemical balance in. And then finally when it hit, it was like, oh my gosh, it's clear, it's gorgeous, don't touch it.
And it stayed that way,
like,
amazingly.
It really had nothing to do with golf, but it was like it was always there. And it's like, when it's right at your entrance, it can't be green.
When you can see it from right where we're sitting.
It's like
it's always in the back of your mind.
When that's green, it's kind of like retro for here. So we want to move away from that.
There is a couple times that I'd be in the shop alone and I'd see someone go into the pool and I would just cross my fingers and be like, please be okay. And I'd always go check after and it's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that was obviously that's the first full summer that we've been here. First summer we've had that open. So that was nice. I think people enjoyed it, the people that did use it.
How many times did I threaten to shut it down and fill it out? Weekly?
You're known for filling pools in. So, fortunately, I don't think we're going in that direction. So,
what do you think's been the biggest improvement on the golf course itself? I know you've done a lot of stuff out there.
Oh, biggest improvement on the golf course itself. I mean, there's actual grass out there now. It's not just all weeds. I mean, there's still a lot of weeds. We still have to, once we get the sprayer, we'll get the next step going. But having the ability to hit a drive and then go find it in the woods and punch out and then find my ball on grass in fairway, I think that's, to me, I think that's probably the biggest improvement, for everyone else. Personally, though, I think the biggest improvement is we're starting to get the look that we're going for, letting kind of the tall rough grow and kind of, doing what we've done with filling in some of the bunkers, working on the other bunkers. I think just visually the course is a lot more interesting. And I think if you understand what we're trying to do, the golf course now makes more sense. Before, when everything was kind of cut the same height, it was kind of weeds here, weeds there, slight difference here and there. But, actually seeing a difference between, okay, I've got, 220 to, middle of the fairway. That'll give me a good approach. It's like, do I want to take that, or do I want to actually try to get up 50, 60 yards out and hit my driver? It's like, no, I'm going to play it back because I've got this trouble over here, but it opens up over there. I think it actually makes it a much more interesting golf course, and I think it was already an interesting golf course when we got here. I mean, it's actually a really well-designed course.
Layout. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we're just kind of adding to that and making it more noticeable and more distinguished, and that was a very long way of saying I think it looked pretty. So well, and it's like, actually, it's like I buzzed out today, and it's like I paused at a couple of holes, and at the end of one summer, we have fairways that are actually striped. Yep. And it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah. That's the biggest immediate, like, oh, okay.
When we got here, there weren't even fairways.
No.
So, and it's like, we have a long ways to go, but it's nice to see that advance.
Yeah.
And some people share that with you, and some people walk away mumbling and complaining because that's who they are.
Or they leave notes on scorecards for you to find.
Oh, yeah. That's hilarious.
That's always one way to do it.
Sometimes they're very graphic. Sometimes they're just very blunt. So either way, but, that whole golfer and natural character thing just doesn't fit with me. So, but we do get a lot of compliments. I mean, we had a couple stopped in yesterday and played and came in and talked for a half hour when they were done, and they were traveling through and just loved it.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, that feels good to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I think when you actually, when we have time to talk to people, and it's like people see what we're doing, and sometimes they don't like it and sometimes they do. And, I tell it to people every time when they ask how's the course. I say it's good, but it's still not where we want to be.
Right.
And it's like I have to remember that for myself all the time. It's like it's not where we want it to be. We're in the middle of the process.
Right.
And that's why it's like, what you were saying about thinking back to, everything we've been able to accomplish. And it's like pretty much every night I look at pictures on my phone from last year just so I can see visually the difference, because I have so many pictures of the course, and it's like I try to remind myself when I see something I don't like now, take a picture of it. Because in a
Right.
year, I can look back and,
Right.
either we got that fixed or we didn't. And that's something we have to keep working on. So visually, that's important to me.
And more big news, we still don't have our new carts. We're still waiting for carts.
But we do have scorecards. We have
New
scorecards right
scorecards.
now. I that's supposed to be hidden there, but we do actually have scorecards now. So
Instead of coming
big
off
step.
the copier, finally, we had the course rated finally.
Yeah,
It
that
hadn't
took.
been done for quite a while, so we were waiting on that so it would actually be on the card. So
Yeah,
that's pretty neat to have that. So it's like, hey, you're out of cards. Well, let me run into the office to the copy machine real quick. And it's like now it's like open the box. There they are. It's amazing. That's like we're getting really close to being a golf course.
yeah.
It's fascinating.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's what a concept. No, but
No,
Trying
we're not going to talk about going out and finding golf course boundaries last night. We'll save that for another day.
we have a lot of property.
Oh my gosh, yes we do.
We have a lot of property.
And our neighbors don't realize that some places.
Technology is great. You can see right where you're standing. It's amazing. Well, anything else you wanted to talk about today?
I think that's about enough for me.
Yeah.
Don't want to wear ourselves out first time.
Yeah. We have to save up our energy. 6 weeks from now, we might do another one.
So we're going to do it next week?
Yeah, we're going to do it next week. I'm not going to say a day because
Well, I have eye surgery.
Yeah.
When is that? Tomorrow?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, it is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I might look like the Pirates, but we'll give it a shot next week.
Baseball season's over. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. I'm Caleb. He's Mark. This has been another episode of I Hate Golf. It's awesome. We'll be back next week, hopefully. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you then.